This tutorial will show you how to review a list of all the countermarks that you have created. It will also show you how to find out how often those countermarks have been scanned using the Countermark smartphone app, and where appropriate, it will give you more information about who performed those scans and where those scans took place. All this information is available to you through the Countermark log. To access the log, go to the Countermark menu and choose Countermarks log. To display a list of all the countermarks that have been created, choose the Get Countermarks button. This shows the complete list of all the countermarks that you have created. We'll scroll down to the end of the list. The information displayed about each countermark is as follows. If a countermark is flagged as public, this means it could be read by anybody using the Countermark smartphone app. If access to the information protected by a countermark is restricted to a particular individual or group of people, this will be indicated by the group name. The next piece of information available about a countermark is the date and time when it was created. The countermark reference is displayed. This reference is defined by you or whoever else was setting up the countermark at the point of creation. You might want to give each countermark a unique reference or use the reference field as a way of grouping countermarks by category. A countermark is made up of 32 characters displayed in 2 rows with 16 characters per row. This next field displays the first of the 2 rows. This next indicator tells you how often the countermark has been read or scanned by somebody using the Countermark smartphone app. In this case, this particular countermark has been scanned on 2 separate occasions. You could find out when and where those scans occurred by pressing the View Data button. What we are now looking at is information about the 2 separate scans of that particular countermark. The information available about those scans include the date and time when it occurred, the location of the smartphone when it was used to scan the countermark, the result of that scan. In this case, both scans were successful, which means that the user was granted access to the information protected by the countermark. It may also be possible to see the email address of the user who scanned the countermark. However, in this particular case, no email address is available. That's because the user did not enter an email address into the app on the smartphone. Every time the smartphone app records a scan of a countermark, an image of that scan is captured and stored on the system. You can view that image using the View Image button. What you're looking at here is a picture of the countermark as it was captured by the smartphone that scanned it. Coming back to the main Countermark log, you can filter the countermarks displayed by group. In this case, we'll choose US Sales Team and press Get Countermarks to refresh. And you can see that there are 3 countermarks associated with this particular group. Alternatively, we can filter by date. We can say, show me only those countermarks created between the 1st of April and the 7th of April. Press Get Countermarks. Note that this particular search is applying 2 filters. It's showing countermarks for a particular group, and within that, countermarks within a particular date range. To search only by date, we'll need to reset the groups option to all groups and then search 1st of April to the 7th of April, and again Get Countermarks. And you can see there is now a longer list. Alternatively, we can search for countermarks by reference. Input part or all of the reference in the reference field. The log will automatically display all the countermarks which match the information in the reference field. In this case, the search is on the characters 1, 2, and the log is bringing back all the references which contain 1, 2. If I want to search for a specific reference, I need to enter that completely. The final option is to search by one or more of the characters displayed in the top row of the countermark. In this case, I want to search for all countermarks with the characters AK in that order. Press Get Countermarks, and there is only one countermark on the log which has the characters AK in that order as part of the top line of the countermark. Remember that you do have the option to customize the first 4 characters of the top row of the countermark. You can choose the digits that appear on those first 4 fields. How to do that is covered by a separate tutorial. You've reached the end of the tutorial that covers how to use the Countermark log.